Hey guys, it's Immy with Fit With Immy, and today we are back from a long hiatus. And I'm back with an update on my physique, what I've been doing with my body, what foods I've been eating, and the crazy impact it has done. I've been wanting to make these changes for a while now, but a lot of the changes had to do with the way I trained, with my body, and the way I ate. So I wanted to make sure, first and foremost, that my state of mind was okay, that I was healthy, that I am recovered from disordered thinking. And sometimes you don't realize if you've recovered or not until something triggers you, and then you go down that spiral. And if you've been following me a while, you know mental health is a huge issue for me. And as somebody who have really had my fair share of battle with eating disorders and whatnot, I truly want to tell you first and foremost that I am at a really good place with my body. I have been for a while now. I just didn't want to talk about it yet because, like I said, like with me, I wanted to be absolutely sure. Even though I knew since a year ago that I was sure, I wanted that time. That being said, this is a disclaimer for anybody who is still struggling with eating disorders or a disordered way of thinking when it comes to your body and your body image, your food. I really recommend you consider where you're at right now. Be really honest with yourself, and if you think this video might trigger you because I'm talking about food and I'm talking about eating in a certain way, if you have a feeling this might trigger you, I really recommend you hit pause and close the video, move on to another video, because your mental health, your state of mind should be king at this point, and you really have to take care of yourself. Do the brave thing, and stop watching. So I'm gonna go right back to the beginning of 2018. I have sculpted an idea of what I wanted to look like and how I wanted to feel. I've always been really in tune with how I wanted to feel, but in terms of what I look like I said, I wanted to feel ready physically and mentally together before I embark on any kind of transformation or weight change or aesthetic change of any means. And I will say this time and time again, changing my body from this point of view, from this post-recovery mindset, plus more than a decade of experience in fitness and health and nutrition, it's coming from a place of I can change the way I look because I'm experienced in fitness, I'm experienced in nutrition enough to be able to change my body responsibly and effectively. Yet as somebody who's gone through enough life to understand that mental health and your overall health should be king above everything else, it's one of those things where I'm ready to embark on that change without sacrificing my overall health, without sacrificing my mental health, and absolutely in no way coming from a place of hate for the current body that I have. And I truly believe, as somebody who promotes body positivity, that you can be in charge of how you want your body to look like. Just because you are body positive doesn't mean you can't embark on weight loss goals. I don't think that's something that should be taboo. I have had several conversations where I feel like body positivity is a hypocritical thing because a lot of people promote body positivity yet do not promote healthy weight loss if that's something that individual wants, which I don't understand. Body positivity should mean accepting all bodies. So why are bodies that are slightly smaller or goals of having a slightly smaller frame something you are against if you are body positive? My goal was to lose some body fat. I don't feel like I'm overweight or anything, but I thrive when I feel a bit lighter, personally. I like the way the clothes that I wear fit on my lighter frame. I personally, I feel like in this time and age, I have to say I personally so much because you just don't want you offend anybody no matter what you say. So if you're still watching this video and you're not offended, congratulations, you have freed yourself from the curse, the double-edged sword that is the PC movement, but that's for a completely different video. I digress. I have, like I said, studied my body for years. I know what works for me and what doesn't. And the way I know, like obviously I read a ton, and those of you know me know I'm a nerd. There's never a day in my life that I'm not reading. Like I'm always studying something, always taking a class in something, always researching theories and case studies. Like I love that shit. I like being able to back up some shit. I like science. I love science. But I also don't confirm or deny anything until I know I have tried it. And I like to use my body as an experiment because that's the only way I can speak from true experience. Science and all are great things to back up claims, especially in the fitness and nutrition area. It's such a developing field where there's always new information. Even the best scientists don't even know how most of the brain works. Like it's only a few % of the brain's functions are known to man as of 2018. So what I'm saying is you can only back up so much, you know, when it comes to science, but you can totally vouch for your experiences and what's working with you, which is, I hope, why you follow my channel, is because you want to hear my side of things, my experience with certain things. I like to go through the experience in order to say, yes, this works for me, or no, this does not work for me. Because when you share stuff like this, there's always somebody with a different opinion, and science can be debated, but you didn't have the experience I had, so that's what I'm going by. So knowing my body, I knew like at about 70% at that point in the beginning of the year that if I go to traditional bodybuilding, I go through traditional functional training where I'm lifting heavy, or I'm just doing squat, deadlift, benching, or just your average like leg day, upper body day split or whatever, 8 to 10 reps, like that kind of traditional lifting, which I've done for so many years. Once as a bikini competitor, you know, as somebody who just wants to get stronger, or someone who wants to get more agile. Like I've had so many different goals and experiences with different styles of training that I know about 70% at that point that like there are certain elements of that kind of lifting that doesn't give me the body that I personally want. And before you guys like pull your hair and get pissed, which you will anyway, so I've come to terms with that I'm gonna piss you off, and it's okay because I'm speaking my truth. East side. I think my idea of what my ideal body has changed throughout the years. I'm 28 now. I remember how I wanted my body to look like when I was 13 versus 18 versus 20 versus 25. It's completely different. 28-year-old me wants to look a certain way, and that way is not the way my body responds to traditional heavy lifting. Even as somebody who was 70% sure at the beginning of the year, I still was open-minded enough to say like, what if I approach it a little differently and added elements of this and that to traditional lifting, and seeing how I can make that work, because I do enjoy lifting. It's fun for me, you know, and I just gotten like a part-time job at a functional training gym, and I was like, that's, you know, I'm there every day. It's like a playground for me. Like maybe I can make this work. I am that girl. Like I already know 30% of my mind was like, this is a gamble, okay? 70% of you know it's gonna go this way, but I'm like, you know, maybe work. So I tried that from about like March to July. March to July was where I was experimenting with like how to make heavy lifting work for me, and I saw my body morph back to what I didn't really want. There was like disproportionate stuff that was happening. I was like, oh, no matter how I tried to make it work, it wasn't working for me. So at about like midway through July, I've completely stopped lifting heavy. I'm still resistance training. I'm a personal trainer. I really see the benefits of strength training. I also have opened my eyes to enough to see that fitness it can be achieved in so many ways, which is something I want to really articulate, is that there's no one way to achieve something. First of all. Second of all, fitness means something different to everybody. You hear me say this a lot on Instagram, and that's because I truly believe it. Just because your idea of fitness looks like this, like strong, this, that, doesn't mean the person next to you idea of fitness is the same. You have to approach this topic with that in mind, that nothing will ever look the same to another person. And this is just, like I said, the way I see fitness and my personal goals at this point. Will I push this on my clients? No, if that's not what they want. So I've stopped lifting heavy like that, and I kind of modify what worked for me to achieve the body that I currently want, which is kind of on the long and lean side. I still love muscle. I love seeing the lines and definition. And I know that you need muscle to live. I know the functions of muscle. I'm pretty educated in that. I've really, over the years, fallen in love with muscle endurance. How the muscle can endure something for longer. I'm a huge fan of joint health, having healthy joints. I'm a huge fan of muscle and body longevity. I've really put importance into these little things that seem little, but I think really add up when it comes to health on the long term. And when it comes to back pain, how do you combat back pain? You develop a stronger core. So I brought more importance to core-centric training, whereas when I was bodybuilding, I really didn't think much about my core. I was like, oh, I'm getting my core doing squats anyway and stuff, but which is true, all that is right, none of that's wrong, but I've really isolated my core a lot more. I've put importance on having a whole day just doing plank and side plank variations. With all that combined, a good combination for my goals and the body that I want. I've been really doing lots of Pilates. I've been doing a lot of ballet, with Ballet Beautiful and traditional ballet as well, where if I'm not taking an adult ballet class, then I'm doing online videos with the New York City Ballet workout series and whatnot. I've been doing, your traditional resistance training like you would if you go to the gym, but a lot more body weight oriented. I do lots and lots of high intensity core centric things. I've also personally seen that when I walk a lot, and I do a lot of power walking in addition to all this training, I really lean down as I have a good cardio regimen going on. I'm in a better mood, but it's rainy season here in Thailand right now, and walking is a little hard in the rain all the time, and it's not just like cute rain in the countryside. We're in a mega city, so it's disgusting potholes and broken tiles on the street and traffic and people, and it's just not the most ideal environment for me to walk. And I'm not a fan of the treadmill, so I've been doing more dancing in my room and dancing in dancing studios and whatnot, because that gets the cardio in without the crappy environment. But hopefully when the rainy season ends, which is in a couple months, I will be able to embark on my walking regimen again, because in a way I really miss the clarity I get from walking and putting nice podcasts on and just strolling around the city. It's good. I miss it. I'll get back to it. But that's literally what I've been doing with my body in terms of fitness. In terms of food, I have made some drastic changes as well. Again, in the beginning of the year, I've established what has worked for me, and that is with my personal body type and my preferences of how I like to feel, not just weight related, but bloating related, stomach pain related, everything. Poop related. God, I'm not shy to talk about my poops. I love talking about poop. You can learn so much about your health just talking about your fucking poop, looking at your poop. I look at my poop every day. Anyway, I really preferred my body, my mind, and my routine and my health when I eat higher fats, lower carbs, and moderate protein. I wouldn't call my eating style keto. I do like a lot of keto recipes, but I wouldn't like to label myself as that, because I'm not really eating keto ratios every single day. I really just intuitively pick my fats to be the main macronutrient, the good fats of course, and then the protein and the carbs. The protein takes the second place, and carbs are kind of the last thing I think about. Don't respond well to carbs. I don't know if it's a carb sensitivity or what, but when I eat a lot of starch-based carbs, which is something I tend to go for, I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I just really like noodles and pasta and rice and things like that. And when I go for those, I'm hungry more often. I'm not really ever satisfied, but I'm bloated and full at the same time. It's this weird mix of feelings. I get a lot of skin problems. It's just personally hasn't really worked out for me. So I've experimented in the beginning of the year with really, and a bit of last year with really eating high fats, and every time I do it, I would get really good results, but then I would be guilty of listening to other arguments and taking them personally because this research said carbs is okay, that research didn't, and then get confused and then go back to the carbs. And each time it's proven that it hasn't worked out for me and my body. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I get it. I thrive on high fats. And with taking that part-time job, I've really not been organized with my eating because of the schedule, because of the convenience, all that stuff. I didn't cook as much, so I've been kind of not taking care of what I eat. It's just all over the place, eating timing. I even started having like acid reflux, and that has not happened to me in like 2 decades, and that was freaking scary. But long story short, I've taken control of my food now in a really, really healthy sense. I've not starved once, so don't freaking worry about that. This past 2 weeks, I've completely detoxed from sugar. And I mean, I've eaten super high fat, I've eaten moderate protein, and I have not had a drop of sugar. Kinda almost keto, but it's so intuitive that I don't track the macros. I track some days to make sure I'm eating in deficit, because that's what you want when you're trying to lose weight. Like when people say you don't need to eat in deficit to lose weight, I call bullshit personally. You still have to be in deficit to lose weight no matter what. I make sure I stay in deficit, and like I said, I've been in this game long enough to kind of eyeball a lot of the food and have an idea if I'm eating in deficit or not. And if I'm not sure, then on those days I will track. But now I have a really healthy relationship with tracking food, so there's no need to be obsessive compulsive, any of that. So it's been really good. But I've just really, really been focusing on whole, good fats, vegetables, and good plant-based proteins. In the past 2 weeks, I haven't weighed myself, so I'll get back to you on the weight, probably on my Instagram or somewhere, or next video. But in terms of measurements, because I brought my measuring tape with me, I've been kind of on the go, I've been traveling. If you follow my Instagram, you would have seen. If not, start following me on Instagram, girl. I have lost ½ an inch on my waist, ½ an inch on my hips. It's pretty insane for 2 weeks in my standards, because I don't go into insane deficits. I really tend to cut just a little bit from my maintenance calories, because I don't like drastic weight loss anymore. I'm not 15 anymore, and I actually am a bit smarter now. I know how to sculpt my body in the shapes that I like, and I eat in deficit with whole healthy foods that are high in fat. And another thing, which is super important, is I've been getting my sleep back on track. And that has really helped, because after I quit my part-time job, I've really been in control of my sleep. I work for myself full-time again, and I know I need sleep at certain hours, so I go to sleep because I don't have anything to rush to. And the things I do have to go to are on my own terms, so that's kind of cool. If you want to see more visual representation of how my body looks now versus before or whatnot, you can follow me on Instagram, which I'm going to put right here at Fit With Immy. And I hope you will stay tuned here, because I'm going to be uploading way more videos. If this pisses you off, congratulations. I have successfully challenged you to think outside the box and not to get offended by everybody else's personal journey. If you like what you saw, though, please do not hesitate to press the subscribe button, because that would mean the world for me. That will really help me grow as a businesswoman, as an influencer, and as somebody who just really, really, really loves her passion. And like the video, because you like this video, so you should like this video too. Comment if you have something to say. Have an awesome rest of the week. See you guys next time. Bye.